Good evening, students. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube. How are you guys? Hi, Priyanka. Looks Priyanka is in love with my classes. Hi, Priyanka. She's so regular. I appreciate it. So, all right, guys, without wasting any time, welcome to the class. I am your Professor Urmi, verified plus educator for class 11th and 12th, CBSE Sociology, Psychology, and Entrepreneurship. I'm a plus educator and I take all the three subjects. And tonight we are going to do the part two of our class 11 Sociology full course revision. As you guys know, we are doing entire syllabus drill for your final examinations on the YouTube, where I'm giving you the insights of all the course, all the chapters, and I would want you guys to attend this. Hi, Fatima. I would really want you guys to attend this because I feel if you go through this and if you have any questions across, and if you feel that okay, this was the chapter which I'm not pretty sure of, please be here, hold on, and we are going to do all the chapters. Right now we are going to do the third one. We've already done the first and second chapter yesterday. If you haven't watched the video, go on the Unacademy Humanities videos segment, and you will get every single video there. So yesterday we had the part 1, tonight we have the part 2. So welcome all of you on board. Before we begin, guys, remember there's a beautiful initiative by Unacademy by Ask 10 Doubts, which are absolutely free. It's a limited offer till 10th of March. Get a free Unacademy subscription for 15 days. Free, free, free. Exam time, right time to grab this opportunity. Just go ahead and grab it. We have another feature of Ask a Doubt where you can go ahead and ask all your doubts of whichever subject you want, and you have to just sit back and relax because you would be given the answer in a very short span of time, and you can just sit back and wait for the answer and a high end resolution answer, which can be any subject. Now, what does the feature help you with? It basically gives you an ask all unlimited doubts. You can ask the doubt anytime, any point of given time you feel that okay, now I have a doubt, I might ask. Go ahead. You will get a high quality video solution in English or Hindi, whichever you would prefer. You receive the exact matches for your questions. You obtained instant, accurate solution and lakhs of question, guys, and you get assistance with all the homeworks. Okay, so this is it. Now, what and how does it work? Basically, these are the steps. You click on Ask a Doubt feature. Point number 2, you select take a picture. Okay, choose it from the gallery. Step 3 is basically you select a picture of your own question, and then the next one is basically crop it. Once you crop it, the highlighted version, it will ask you an option and give you an option where you can actually select the subject which your question belongs to. And the last one is sit tight, you will receive the solution soon. So I'm hoping that there are no questions still here, and I'm hoping that you are able to go ahead and ask a doubt and very beautifully move ahead with this. Now, the Unacademy subscription feature. As I have already told you, that this basically will give you the comfort of learning from your home, where you can sit back, relax, and just enjoy and learn from the top educators of our country. I'm sure you have seen that their expertise is to next level, where they help you with all the study material. They give you weekly mock test series. They give you, live doubt clearing sessions. They give you subjective test series. The practice which the educators give you on whichever subject you require and whichever times you basically ask them. The best part is it helps you ace your final examination as the exams are approaching near, and the more you practice, it becomes easy for you to connect with them and do pretty well in your examinations. The pricing subscription is here. As an educator, I would definitely request you to go for a high end one because the course is not going to complete at 1 month. So absolutely, there are students who would want to go to class 12th. Whichever subscription plan you are taking, remember to go for a high end one, because that will help you for planning the entire year and executing. Now, if you're not sure of which educator to learn from, all the educators who are on board humanities educator, there are educators for all the subjects. You can go ahead and check their special classes. You can watch all their recorded videos on YouTube. Select which educator you would want to study from, attend their live classes. Use the referral code, take a subscription, you get a 10% discount. Earlier we had stopped that pricing, but now because of the demand, we have moved it. We are still giving the 10% referral. So even if you use my referral code, you will get a straight 10% discount. So like I told you, go watch their video, select your educator from whom you want to learn, and then move ahead, guys. I think this is the right time where you need to make your base strong, because 11 12 is the base for your further studies, and this will basically decide your choice or your key area of interest and what you want to do in life and how you want to lead ahead. Next is the Unacademy iconic subscription. There are many people and many folks who are not pretty comfortable in group studies. I think this is going to be absolutely for them, where the iconic subscription will redefine the mentorship, and it will absolutely help you and ensure you to have an hands-on learning. So this is something which we give you, and we give you a parent connect. We give you a structured design of what your study planner needs to look like. We give you all the live doubt clearing session where you can just go ahead and ask with a weekly report. Any questions, feel free, guys. And this is the iconic subscription pricing. As you can see that this basically is on a high-end model, because of course, hi Ritaja, hello, welcome to the class, very good evening. This is basically a high end model, because of course you get all the attention for yourself, and you get the actually you basically study all alone, without any disturbance of the group. So yes, please move ahead, speak, talk with your parents, discuss, and just get on board. As I told you that the 10% referral on, because of the high demand of the students, we have not removed it completely. You still can take and enroll for the course and get a 10% discount. You can use my code Urmi Life, that's my referral code, and get a 10% discount. All these features are basically for free if you use the code plus 10, and you can download the Unacademy app now. All right. Now, this chapter 1 and chapter 2 we guys have already seen. So now we will directly move on to the last part, which yesterday I was showing you, and we will move towards the chapter number 3. So please, one more time, feel free if you guys have any questions, please let me know. So today we are going to start with understanding the social institutions. Of course, this is also one of the most important chapters, and it will have a lot of weightage. Before we start, social institution is not referring here to school and colleges. This basically means either the key area of either it's your family, it's the kinship, it is a marriage, or how you are in a particular society, which decides things on your interactive level with people, etc. So one more time, let's begin. What do you mean by understanding social institution? Hi Bodo, hip hop, hello. What do you mean by understanding social institution? Please remember, we as a part and parcel of this society, uh, have come across phases where we interact with people, we try to know them, we have difference of opinion, sometimes we match our with our thoughts, sometimes we don't. What is important here is understanding what social institutions are. See, your family is in part and parcel of institution. Okay, it might be the primary part, but secondary part is when your school, college, or your party comes into picture. That's understanding social institution. Now, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? There are different people who belong to different caste, who belong to different language, who belong to different ethnicity, and somewhere or the other you have to understand social institution is not just related to that person's cultural background or language or linguistic approach, but it also has to do with the society, as you are a part and parcel of the society. Okay, now what is it? Each one of us has a status and a role or roles. Okay, as an individual, role is not something which is being given to you by somebody else. Status is being given to you by the society, but role is something which you play by your own as a part and parcel of your life. For example, as a mother, as a friend, as a confidant, as a companion, as a wife, father, etc. Status is something which is based on your economic rank, on your stratification, on your cultural basis, on your hierarchical rank basis. Okay, now there are not roles like a film actor which you might opt to play. You're not playing a role like them. This is a different role. This is something which is based on your responsibilities. This is something which play a very important or a very vital status here, because you know how to behave, you know how to understand, you know how to uh, match up the levels. Okay, very importantly, you have to understand that these are not the roles of a film actor. These are social institutions which consist of controlling, punishing, and rewarding. Okay, now when you are in a society, you have to understand, if you do some crime, okay, you will get a punishment. If there is a crime, okay, hi Suraj, good evening, welcome to the class, I'm good beta. Okay, when you are trying to commit a crime or something which is not a society, okay, very very important that you will definitely be punished. Now when I say you will be punished, similarly when you do something good, you will also be awarded and you will be given a reward. This is a segment where micro and macro institutions come into picture. For example, macro can be in the state of a bigger picture, whereas micro is something which is very close, just like your family. That's your first preference. Macro is big, micro is small. You must have, this is basic, plain, simple economics. Micro is small, on a smaller scale, macro is on a bigger scale. In this chapter, we are introduced to social institutions. Okay, now uh, also how sociology or social anthropology studies them. So sociology is basically the study of human society. So anthropology is basically the study of human culture, and of course things across, in terms of caste, in terms of customs, in terms of rituals, every single thing is a part and parcel. And as I told you, sociology is a discipline which is interconnected with many disciplines. Okay, now this chapter also gives you an idea where the central areas are very important, such as family, marriage, kinship. I told you, why marriage? Marriage is something which is a social norm. People either do it, people either don't. Basically, it's kind of a legal entity. When you are getting involved in marriage, there are also different types of marriage which you have studied. Okay, you have studied about polygamy, you have studied about monogamy, all these things we're going to study further again. Politics, because politics is power. If you do not have power in the society, it becomes very difficult for you to believe or follow the norms and values or customs and culture. Next is economics. Absolutely, without money, very important that it is absolutely not in your hand of what to do. Okay, what do you call, money is a factor, because of money your entire livelihood or living culture or lifestyle is dependent on. And the next one is education. Not everybody is blessed to be educated. Not everybody has got that opportunity, or they feel that they are a part of it. But somewhere or the other, you also need to understand education is in regards with opportunities and vice versa. Okay, and vice versa. So, in a broadest sense, institution is something which works according to the rules which are established or least acknowledged by the law or the custom. Okay, and whose regular and continuous operation cannot be understood without taking those rules into account. So if you do not follow it, that the institution's rule, then you are basically a part and parcel which is being removed or excluded from the society. This happens. There are many sort of things like religion, family. Okay, all these things can also be put an end to itself as an institution. Imagine there are some people who just don't want to marry, so they have put an end to that same place, and in their family probably they have brought the change where they said that, okay, I don't want to get married. They have put an end to that institution themselves. It is not a mandatory thing to follow something. Yeah, Norms and values in terms of culture and politics, because there are rules involved, you have to. But this is a self concept. It is your understanding and acceptance whether you would want to get married or not. This will provide you with opportunities, whether you want to study or not. If you study, you will have opportunities. If you don't, you will not. This completely depends on you. It's a self decisive concept which I'm talking about, the institution here. So we have already seen that these are the conflicting and different understanding in the concept of society. Like I told you, when we are a part and parcel of a society, there are different people. It's like just the utensil जो एक साथ आते हैं तो खाली बर्तन बजते हैं. Similarly, as a human thought process, when I come, I keep my words, my opinion. Somebody else comes, they or he or she keeps their own opinion. It doesn't. It is not compulsory that it has to match, guys. It might be very different from each other. Okay, we have already seen that there are conflicting and different understandings of concepts within sociology. Okay, we have also been introduced to the functionalist and the conflict perspective. Now, this is a very important segment from this chapter. What is the conflict perspective? What is the functionalist perspective? Who has written what? What is being said? Of course, Karl Marx and Millie Durkheim. You must have heard about it. So, what were the theories? What did they say? What was the study saying? We will study about all of it. So, not surprisingly, there are different forms of understanding of social institutions as well, which we are going to study very, very soon. Okay, a functionalist view, which is a concept where we study that understands social institution as a complex set. It includes a value, belief, social norms, relationship. Hi Priyanka, welcome back. Which arise in response to the needs of the society. Okay, which in terms of the needs of the society. So social institutions exist to satisfy our social needs, the desires, the requirements, whatever we have. So accordingly we find informal and formal institutions in the societies. Informal means your family. Formal can be a school, it can be a hospital, where things are different than what your personal space are. So this is the basic difference between a personal space and a public realm. The difference which I told you last time. So what is it divided into? Formal and informal social institutions in the society. Institutions such as family and religion are the examples of informal society social institution, while law, okay, and law, okay, once again law and law education are the formal social institutions. Very important. Institutions such as family, religion are examples of informal social institutions, while law and formal education are the formal social institutions. I hope this you understood. I just give you an example. Your family and the school or the college or the hospital. Remember, conflicting and different understanding of concepts within the sociology. Conflicting is a part where people do not have the same opinion, they might differ, so which is completely fine. Now, a conflict view. This holds to an individual where are not placed equally in the society. That one was as a whole, we are speaking. What was the functionalist view saying? Functionalist view saying that understanding social institution as a set of complex social norms, belief, value, relationship, etc., to the needs of the society together. Whereas here in the concept of conflict view, this holds on all the individuals which are not placed equally in society. Okay, so yes, all the social institutions, whether familial, religious, political, economic, legal, or educational, will operate in the interest of the dominant sections of the society, be it be class, caste, tribe, or gender. You have to discuss, you have to decide why. When we say dominant caste or social section, samajh lo, these are the people who are economically more on a better angle than the people who are on the lower side. The ruling ideas of the society basically are run by these people. Ruling class kaun hai? Here, these are the people who are on the stratification or the hierarchy. These people are ranked at the top end, the top notch. For example, the upper class people, the Brahmins, whereas the lower class people who are being basically called as the deprived or the dispossessed people, they can be the Dalits, they can be the SCs, they can be the STs. This is what the book says. This is what the society says. that these are the dominant sections and these are the dispossessed and the suppressed sections. Okay, so please understand the difference between these two, the dominant sections and the dispossessed sections. How? As we move ahead in this chapter, you have to think about the example about how social institutions constrain and also offer opportunities to the individuals. Okay, now notice whether they impact the different sections of societies unequally. Example, okay, example. Let me see what guys are writing. Social institutions can also be cultural institutions. Very good. Priyanka, good job, beta. Parsi are wealthy as well as strata, but minorities need not always be less influential. No, Parsis are not less influential. Although their community is quite small in number, there are less people, but definitely they are not. These minority people are not. These are not less influential people. I think they're highly influential. It just depends on the segment and the economic class. Like I again told you, we are here discussing about the economic class, guys. Okay, so that's an important segment. Any questions still here before we move ahead, Bitter? Okay, is this okay? Do we move ahead? Just give me a thumbs up. Any questions still here? Social institutions, opportunities, development, evolution of sociological thoughts from environment. Great job, Priyanka. I love the answers. Fantastic. Archit Jain, ma'am, where is part one link? Archit, you click on the Unacademy Humanities channel beta, and just below this one, you go to, you click on, when the first top five videos itself, you will see yesterday's link because I have taken the sociology part one in yesterday's class itself. So you will get it. Also, Archit, if you do not find it, you can go and join my Telegram channel. Yesterday, I had posted that link, so you will get it across there as well. Constraints some social institutions are cultural ones also to propagate only homogeneously. Propagate only homogeneously. Yes, definitely. Ma'am, can you explain variations in family forms? Absolutely, why not? Before we move to the variations in family form, let's just start with family, marriage, and kinship. Now, as you know, that this is an eventually important part and parcel, and family is the most natural thing that appears to us at the first level. Later things change. We think that we know everything about the family where we live in, but still then things change. We have seen, okay ma'am, thank you, god bless. Then we see that okay, things are changing, families are changing. People do not, they don't think that love is the main thing. They change, they run behind property, they separate. All these things probably happen. So of course change is the most unchanging thing ever, right? It will keep on, it will keep on happening, and it's not going to stop. Sociology and anthropology, over many decades, have actually conducted a lot of research and development. And here, with different cultures, it has actually seen how institutions of marriage, family, and kinship are important, related, and a major part and parcel of different societies. Now, they have also known and shown how the family, private spheres, and public spheres are different. Yesterday also I told you in the part 1, where we discussed that how sociology is not just in regards with your common sense, but it is more beyond it. And that's the reason we have discussed this in the chapter number 1, where we have studied about psychology, economics, political science, history, anthropology. It is in regards with all the disciplines, not one. Remember, not one. So, according to the functionalist, the family performs important tasks which contribute to the society's basic needs and helps perpetuate a social order. The functionalist perspective argues that modern industrial societies function best if women look after the family and men earns in the family. Now, this is something which is already discussed, that why did they think that men are the bread owner and winner of the family, whereas the women have to take care of the domestic settings. They are supposed to have the role of a nurturing lady who just takes care of the instrumental role of looking after the kids, the family, cooking, serving them meals, whereas the man does the rest of the jobs. So the vision is questionable when we think about this differentiation, not just because it is gender unjust, but also because the studies across in history basically show somewhere or the other this is untrue. You will see a discussion on work, you will see a discussion on economy, you will see a discussion on the contemporary industries like the garment export. Without women, these industries don't work. Basically, let's take the example of the garment export. The women are required here. Okay, they are a major part of the labor force. Without them, the speed of the jobs are going to be stuck. Things are going to be really very different. Such a separation also suggests that men are necessarily the head of the households. Now we are going to discuss about the question Fatima has asked, the variations in family forms. Okay, now there are different variations. Point number 1, okay, shift towards the nuclear family. Okay, 1 second. Priyanka has written due to the changes in sociological, okay, family through psychology. Due to the changes in sociological thoughts, family structures have evolved. Very good. Shift towards nuclear family, okay. More self centered nature and thoughts of economic benefits. Self centered. Why self centered, beta? Why do you think it is self centered? What makes you think, Priyanka, that this is self centered? Evolution of family structures and joint family, usually in business class families, over the period of time due to gender upliftment and need of financial independence. Correct. Correct. Okay, let's move to Fatima's question first. What do you mean by the variations in the family forms? Point number one, there are female headed households where the, of course, the female take the cake and they are the leading source. And then there are the families which are linked with different social spheres and the families change. So what is it that there's a debate here where India has been out of the shift from the nuclear family to the joint families? There has been different reason. Okay, earlier everything was into basic of joint family. Then people thought that this is a huge humongous interference, and that's the reason they basically wanted to move into more comfortable places, and they felt that this is not required. So we've already seen how sociology is questioning common sense impression here. What is the fact that nuclear families have always existed in India, particularly among the deprived castes and classes? They do not have an option of, being a part and parcel. Okay, they do not have an this thing of part and parcel. Hi, Seth. Good evening. I'm doing good. Seth couldn't control and resist. Seth is like, okay, no, no, I will see you half an hour ke baad, but I'll again join this class also. Matriarchal society, yes. Somewhere or the other, Priyanka, you're correct. That's the matriarchal society. So let me take you again back, Fatima, that variation in the family forms, somewhere or the other. Okay, the debate was that India had a major shift from the nuclear to the joint families. Okay, we already have seen this, that sociology and society basically questions the common sense impressions, that why, what is the reason. So what are we seeing, that the fact that earlier also the deprived and the dispossessed classes have particularly seen the nuclear families, they have always been there because they were economically very poor. They could not basically have a family, they were feeding so many people together under the same roof, it was not possible. Sociologist A.M. Shah remarks that in post independent India, joint family has steadily increased. So, the contributing factor is the increased life expectancy in India, according to him. It has increased from 32.5 to 55.4 years of the men, and from 31 to 55 years of women during the period 41 to 50 and 81 to 85. So, consequently, the proportion of aged people from 60 years and above in the total population has increased because they're together. They feel that okay, this is a kind of thing with where the unity happens, where things go more systematically, economically more sound, etc. So this again is a broad generalization, but the spirit of sociological perspective, so it cautions against blindly believing a common sense impression that the joint family is fast eroding, and it alerts us to the need for careful comparative and empirical studies. Studies have shown okay, how diversely family forms are found in different societies. So, with regards to the rule of residence, some societies are matrilocal in their marriage and family customs, while others are patrilocal. What do you call matrilocal is something which is a mother's side. Patrilocal, of course, is the father's side. You know this, in which we have seen that the newly couple, married couple also always stays with the women's parents, whereas in the second case, we have seen the couple lives with the man's parents. Mother's parents, matrilocal. Father's parents, the husband's parents, is patriarchal. So, what is a patriarchal family structure? This basically exists when the men exercises the authority and dominance, and the matriarchy where the women play a major role in decision making of the family. For example, they being the bread owners or the sole homemakers of the family. There comes the matrilineal society which is existing, and the same cannot be claimed about the matriarchal societies. Matrilineal, matriarchal, matrilineal, matriarchal. Know the differences. So families are linked to the social spheres and they change. I told you. They change due to so many reasons. So Fatima, is it clear till here? Is the variations of the family forms clear better for you? Only then we will move ahead. Anybody? Fatima, is it clear better? Then we move ahead. Anyone? Fatima, is it clear better? The variations in the family forms. Then we move ahead. Okay, yes, ma'am. Great. Let's move ahead now. The next one comes as the matter of arranging marriages, the rules and perceptions. Now, marriage also play a very important role because this chapter is about discussion of social institution, guys. Okay, so marriage being one of the most important institution, what is important here? That the families are linked to social spheres and they are changing. Now, every day you are seeing family as a distinct and separate entity, economical, political. There are different reasons. However, you will see yourself in the family that the structure is kind of closely linked as the comparison of the rest of the society. You feel that's a major part and parcel which you are a part of, which is, you know, a space here where while the growing sense of economy and insecurities of people which they respond by refusing to marry, this can be a case of unintended consequence. They don't want to marry. They say that this is okay, absolutely clear. I'm glad, Fatima. I'm glad. They feel that this basically can be understood as a case of unintended consequence. Why? They feel they are, not to be uh, consequences. So, what is the next thing? That family and kinship are subject to change, and the transformation here is due to macroeconomic processes, but the direction of change need not always be similar for all countries and regions. Every country and region is different, guys. So it cannot be the same. This much I'm sure you all have understood. Moreover, change does not mean that the complete erosion, removal. Whereas the previous norms and structure, change and continuity exist. They exist. Okay? They exist. So, how gendered is the family? The belief is that the male child will support the parents in the old age, and the female child will leave on to the marriage, which results in the families investing more in the male child because they feel that the male child will only look after them, the others will not. Okay, so despite the biological fact that a female baby has better chances of survival, the male baby rate of infant mortality among female children is higher. And why? Because they feel that these people, these children, will, at least the females will get married and leave too the parents, whereas only these are the sons will take care of their families. Okay, so despite the biological fact a female baby has better chances of survival, still their consideration and this is being still a major part and parcel where the male children are given more priority. Clear? Absolutely clear. Okay. I enrolled for the course Shrestha Best. Great Shrestha, I'm so glad, beta. So I'm hoping that you're excited to come every day and learn from me all the alternate days to learn psychology. Yeah, I got it crystal clear. Chalo, let's move ahead now. The institutions of marriage. Now there are some sort of forms of marriage which play a very important role. So what are the forms of marriage, guys? Like I told you, point number one, marriage definitely has a variety of forms, but also you have to acknowledge this that institution of marriage has been found as the wide variety of in forms in different society, different people, different custom, uh, different rules and regulation, differing functions. Everybody has a different way of modes of customs when it comes to the marriages. So, marriage has a large variety of form, and these can be identified on the basis of numbers of partners and rules who are governing who can marry whom. So, how do we basically say and name them? It's monogamy and polygamy. So, what is monogamy? It restricts you one individual to one spouse at a time, and under this, at any given time, a man can have only one wife, and a woman can only have one husband, not more than that. Even where polygamy is permitted, in actual practice, monogamy is more widely prevalent. Okay, I'm sure you must have studied about this and you know that many places this is still prevalent, but now there are different rules, and the government have strictly made it clear that these things need to be abided by if you want to get married and if you want the society to give you the permission on the same. So, yes, monogamy restricts the individual to one spouse at a time, whereas polygamy is, a part and parcel where this is permitted, but in actual practice, monogamy is more widely prevalent. They still accept only having one spouse at one time, not more than that. So, now let's speak about. Hi, RS Gaming, how are you? Good evening, welcome to the class. Okay, now in many societies, individuals are permitted, okay, to marry again. See what happens here. If somebody is very young, at a very young age the husband dies, the permission needs to be given. Yeah, but if that cannot happen, if the permission is not given, that there's a life who is being, which is being ruined. So things are different. It differs from person to person. So here what we see, often on the death of the first spouse or after the divorce, they cannot have more than one spouse at a time at the same time. Such monogamous marriages are termed as serial monogamy. Okay. Remarriages on the death of a wife have been a norm for men for the most part. But as you all are aware that the right of upper caste Hindu widows was denied, and that campaign of widow remarriage was a major issue in the 19th century of the reform movements. What you're probably not aware of, that even today in nearly 10% of all women, 55% of women over 50 years are widow. Either their husbands are dead, accidents, medical issues, different marriages, whatever it is. The ladies are widows, not remarried, dead. Why? Somewhere or the other, they're not allowed, or the custom doesn't allow them to get married one more time. Possibilities. Next is polygamy, which denotes the marriage to more or to one mate at a time. And this takes a form of the either. Polygyny is again one husband with two or more wives. Polyandry is one wife with two or more husbands. Okay. This you have to understand. The definitions are very important. So please remember. Marriages, arrange or love. Love, I don't have to explain you. I'm sure you all know. That is something which is of your choice. Whereas the matter of arranging is basically when your parents or relatives look after, and then you are free to basically get married. And love marriage are basically when you're free to choose your own mate, whom you want to get married and stuff like that. So, what are the rules of endogamy and exogamy? Now, this is important. This might come in the exam. Okay, so the rules of endogamy and exogamy in some societies, restrictions are subtle, while in the others, individuals cannot be married. Cannot be married. Now, here you need to understand endogamy requires the individual to marry within a culturally defined group where he or she is already a member, whereas exogamy is the reverse. You can get married to someone who's outside your group. What is it? Endogamy inside your culturally defined group. Exogamy is outside. Difference. Now, these are basically some defining concepts of what is family, kinship, and marriage. What is a family? Group of people who are connected with the kin connections. They are father, mother, siblings, offsprings who are very close to you. Marriage can be defined as socially acknowledged and a sexual reunion between two people from where the family can grow on. Okay, where basically you marry and become akin to each other. Hi, आज मेरा birthday. Hello, happy birthday, Dhruv. Wishing you a very happy birthday, beta. Okay. So this is the definitions of the family and the marriages. Next is work and economic life. Work is important for your economic life because you need to have a lifestyle, you need to have a living for which you need money for the exchange of goods and services, and the transaction happens because economy is a very important part. And along with this, remember, the modern society gives you the division of working where they give you paid, they pay you money. How you find work is a complete different thing altogether. You need to work under people. Sometimes you get paid, sometimes you don't. So these are different trends in India where we speak about the complex division of labor. So work and economic work is very, very important. Okay, so what is work? Transformation of work and politics. Now you have to understand here when we speak about politics, it is complete power. If you have the power, it's about enforcing rules and regulation. It's about having the different norms and regulation where you have to follow it or you will not be a part of the society. You will be taken into isolation. You have to follow the norms, you have to follow the rules, etc. Okay. Now, stateless society and the concept of state, we will continue on the next class. From here, we will continue tomorrow. Of course, we have a lot to cover. And as you know, that these are the things to remember which I have mentioned. And I do it in all my classes. So go and have a look at your glossary books because that's very, very important. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I am hoping that this class has helped you. And somewhere or the other, this revision as is definitely going to benefit you in all the ways. So, one more time, once more time, thank you so much for attending today's class. And I'm going to take your leave. I'm going to see you for the next class of revision part 3, where we are going to do the rest of the syllabus and the course. Meanwhile, take care of yourself and stay safe, and God